You woke up today already tired of thinking. Not tired in your body, tired in that quiet place behind your eyes where questions never stop. You looked at your phone. You looked at charts. You looked at other people's wins. And something inside you felt smaller. Not angry, not loud, just small. You did not tell anyone. You never do. You sat there and asked yourself the same question you have asked many times. Why does it feel like everyone else understands this life except me? You did not say it out loud. You just breathed and carried it with you. You carried it into your coffee, into your scrolling, into your silence. You carried it like a secret weight. You remember when trading first felt exciting, when every candle felt like a message, when every move felt like possibility. You felt smart. You felt chosen. You felt like you had found something that could change everything. Now it feels different. Now it feels heavy. Now it feels like a mirror that keeps showing you parts of yourself you do not like. Your impatience, your fear, your hope, your regret. You did not expect that. Nobody warned you that trading would introduce you to your own mind like this. Nobody told you it would whisper your weaknesses back to you. You thought you were learning a market. You were actually learning yourself. And that is harder. You sit with losses that no one else sees. You sit with wins that do not feel real. You sit with decisions you wish you could undo. And you pretend you are fine. Because you think everyone else is fine. Because social media makes it look easy. Because someone is always posting numbers. Someone is always smiling. Someone is always confident. And you wonder why you feel behind. You wonder why you still hesitate. You wonder why your hands shake sometimes. You wonder why your heart beats faster than it should. You wonder if you are broken. You wonder if you are simply not made for this. And the hardest part is not the money. It is the comparison. It is the quiet belief that you are the slow one, the late one, the confused one, the one who keeps trying while others keep winning. You tell yourself you just need more time. You tell yourself you just need one good moment. But deep inside, you fear that time is passing faster than you are growing. You remember the first loss that really hurt. Not the biggest one. The one that felt personal. The one that made you stare at the screen and feel heat behind your eyes. The one that made you sit still for a long time after it was over. The one that made you feel like you disappointed yourself. You remember closing the app and opening it again. As if it would change. As if it would apologize. It did not. It just showed you the same truth again. And you learned something that day without knowing it. You learned that trading does not only test skill. It tests identity. It tests who you think you are. It tests who you want to be. It tests how you speak to yourself when nobody else is listening. You became quieter after that. Not weaker, just quieter. You started thinking more, overthinking more, replaying moments, replaying choices, replaying candles, replaying feelings. You stopped trusting your first thought. Then you stopped trusting your second. Then you started waiting too long or acting too fast. Sometimes both. You noticed that your mind never stayed in the present. It was either in the past loss or the future hope. Never here, never calm, never steady. You told yourself, this is normal. You told yourself every trader feels this. But you did not ask them. You only watched them. And watching does not tell the truth. Watching only shows the surface. You never see their hands shake. You never see their doubts. You never see their late nights. You never see their silent tears. You never see their conversations with themselves. So you assume they are different. You assume they are stronger. You assume they are built for this. And you quietly assume you are not. This is where the first secret begins. Not as a lesson, not as a rule, but as a soft truth. You are not behind. You are inside the process. You are not broken. You are being shaped. You are not weak. You are becoming aware. But awareness hurts at first because it removes the comfort of illusion. It removes the story that success is easy. It removes the fantasy that confidence appears before growth. It shows you that control starts inside, not outside. You start noticing how often you rush, not because of opportunity, but because of fear. Fear of missing, fear of waiting, fear of being left out, fear of being last, fear of being invisible. You realize that most of your actions are not guided by calm. They are guided by pressure. And pressure does not love you. Pressure only wants speed. Pressure only wants proof. Pressure only wants relief. And relief never lasts. You think about how often you chase, not profits, validation. You want to feel right. You want to feel smart. You want to feel like you belong in this space. You want to feel respected, even if nobody is watching. You want to respect yourself. But respect does not grow in chaos. It grows in quiet decisions. It grows in pauses. It grows in restraint. You did not know that before. You are starting to sense it now. Not clearly, just gently. Like a thought that does not want to leave. You remember moments when you knew you should stop, but you continued. Moments when you felt tired, but you pushed. Moments when you felt unsure, but you acted. You were not chasing money. You were chasing relief. Relief from doubt. Relief from waiting. Relief from feeling small. You wanted the screen to tell you that you are okay. It never does. Because the screen does not speak kindness. It only reflects behavior. And behavior reflects emotion. You begin to see that your biggest enemy is not loss. It is emotional hunger. Hunger to feel in control. Hunger to feel successful. Hunger to feel safe. Hunger to feel enough. And hunger makes people grab. Hunger makes people rush. Hunger makes people forget who they are. You have felt that hunger. You feel it now. Not in your stomach. In your chest. In that quiet pressure when you look at numbers. In that subtle tension when you wait. In that soft anger when things do not move. You are not angry at the market. You are angry at the feeling of not knowing. You are angry at the lack of certainty. You are angry at the version of yourself that still doubts. And you punish that version with impatience, with harsh words, with unrealistic expectations. You tell yourself you should be better by now. You tell yourself you should be calmer by now. You tell yourself you should understand by now. But growth does not follow your calendar. Growth follows your honesty. And honesty starts when you stop pretending. Stop pretending you are confident. Stop pretending you are fearless. Stop pretending you are unaffected. You are human. You are learning. You are becoming. And becoming feels uncomfortable. You think about all the times you compared. You compared accounts. You compared speed. You compared confidence. You compared stories. You compared endings. But you never compared struggles, because struggles are hidden. You never compared sleepless nights. You never compared silent doubts. You never compared the moments when someone almost quit, because nobody posts those. So you think you are alone in yours. You are not, but knowing that does not immediately comfort you. It only slowly softens you. Like rain on hard ground. It takes time. You start noticing something else. Your mind does not want peace. It wants answers. It wants control. It wants certainty. But peace comes when you accept uncertainty. Peace comes when you stop forcing outcomes. Peace comes when you respect the moment. You realize you have been trying to win the future. Instead of mastering yourself, you have been trying to escape discomfort. Instead of understanding it, you have been trying to prove something. Instead of becoming something, you do not know exactly what you are becoming yet. You only know you are tired of being the same. And that is enough for now. You remember a time when you felt calm while waiting. Not because you knew what would happen, but because you trusted yourself. You did not even notice it then. But now you miss that version of you. The version that did not rush. The version that did not beg the screen. The version that could sit quietly. The version that did not measure worth in numbers. You want to return to that. Not because it was perfect, but because it was peaceful. You begin to understand something else. You are not here to fight the market. You are here to meet yourself, to meet your fear, to meet your patience, to meet your ego, to meet your discipline, to meet your honesty. You are here to meet the parts of you that were never trained, the parts that school did not teach, the parts that money exposes, the parts that silence reveals. You are here to learn how to stay calm when nothing makes sense, how to stay kind when you feel wrong, how to stay steady when you want to react, how to stay respectful to yourself when you fail. You start to feel a strange relief, not because things are solved, but because you are finally seeing clearly. You are finally realizing that pressure is not a signal to act. It is a signal to pause. You are finally realizing that confusion is not weakness. It is the door to awareness. You are finally realizing that frustration is not an enemy. It is a message asking you to slow down, to listen, to feel, to choose better, not faster, better. You breathe a little deeper, not because you are calm, but because you are willing to become calm. You feel the weight in your chest soften just a little, not disappear, just soften. And that is enough. You are not here to change everything today. You are here to notice everything today, to notice your thoughts, to notice your pressure, to notice your comparisons, to notice your reactions, to notice your self-talk. You are here to begin a different relationship with yourself, not as an enemy, not as a failure, but as a human in training. You do not need motivation right now. You need honesty. You do not need confidence right now. You need patience. You do not need speed right now. You need respect. Respect for your pace. Respect for your journey. Respect for your becoming. You sit quietly with this. You let the noise settle. You let the need to prove fade. You let the urge to rush soften. You let the idea of control shift. You are not losing control. You are learning where it truly lives, inside you, not on a screen, not in numbers, not in opinions, inside your choices, inside your reactions, inside your discipline, inside your silence. You realize this is only the beginning, not of success, but of understanding. And understanding feels lighter than pressure. It feels slower. It feels quieter. It feels honest. You do not feel fixed. You do not feel complete. You do not feel confident. But you feel awake. And for the first time in a long time, that feels enough. You breathe again, and you stay. Just here, just present, just listening, just willing, and you let this moment be exactly what it is. A calm pause. Before the next thought arrives, you did not move right away. You let the pause stay a little longer. Not because you were told to, but because something inside you needed it. You noticed how rare it is for you to sit without wanting to change something, without wanting to fix something, without wanting to prove something. You noticed how uncomfortable stillness can feel, and how honest. You realized that most of your life has been movement without direction, action without clarity, reaction without awareness. And now, for the first time, you were watching yourself think. You were not judging it, just noticing it. You noticed how quickly your mind jumps, from memory to fear, from hope to regret, from plan to doubt. You noticed how little time you actually spend in now. You noticed how your thoughts are always trying to protect you, but often hurting you. You remembered a moment from the past, a small one, a day when you made a decision calmly. No rush, no pressure, no voice shouting inside your head. And you remembered how peaceful that felt. You did not even win that day, but you felt proud, not of the result, of the behavior. You had forgotten that feeling. You had been chasing results instead. You started asking yourself quieter questions, not big dramatic ones, small, honest ones. Why do I rush when I feel watched? Why do I hesitate when I feel alone? Why do I trust others more than myself? Why do I doubt myself even after progress? Why do I speak to myself more harshly than I speak to anyone else? These questions did not hurt. They softened you, because they were not accusations. They were invitations. You realized you had been trying to become confident instead of becoming gentle with yourself. And gentleness felt unfamiliar, almost dangerous. Because you were taught that kindness makes you weak. But you were starting to see that kindness makes you stable. You remembered how many times you told yourself you are not ready. How many times you waited for a perfect feeling. How many times you delayed your own growth. Not because you were lazy, but because you were afraid of being wrong again. You were afraid of trusting yourself again. You were afraid of feeling disappointed again. So you stayed in between. Not fully acting, not fully resting, just existing in tension. You realize that tension has been your home, and you never questioned it. Until now. You notice that your mind loves noise, because noise distracts you from fear. Noise gives you excuses. Noise gives you movement, but silence gives you truth. And truth is uncomfortable, because it does not flatter you. It only shows you. You remembered moments when you blamed everything else. Timing, luck, people, situations. And slowly you saw that blame was not about them. It was about protecting your pride. You were not ready to accept that you were still learning, because learning made you feel small. But now you see that learning makes you free. You started to understand that not knowing is not a weakness. It is a doorway. It is where growth begins. It is where control actually starts. You began to see how much pressure you put on yourself. To be fast, to be right, to be confident, to be impressive, to be something you were not yet. And you asked yourself a gentle question. What if I allowed myself to be unfinished? The question felt strange, but also kind. You realized you had been rushing to become a future version of yourself, while ignoring the present one. And the present one needed attention, not criticism. You thought about how often you wait for permission. Permission from results. Permission from others. Permission from proof. Before you respect yourself, and you saw how unfair that was. You saw how you treated yourself like a stranger, someone who had to earn basic kindness. You started remembering small wins, not numbers. Moments. Moments when you stayed calm. Moments when you walked away. Moments when you waited. Moments when you chose peace over impulse. You realized those moments mattered more than you ever admitted, because they showed who you were becoming, not what you were earning. You felt a soft clarity, not a loud one, not a dramatic one, just a gentle understanding. You are not here to conquer anything. You are here to master yourself. And mastery does not look like excitement. It looks like restraint. It looks like patience. It looks like choosing not to react. It looks like choosing to breathe. It looks like choosing to respect your future more than your current emotion. You noticed how your body feels when you are calm. Your shoulders drop. Your jaw softens. Your breathing slows. Your thoughts stop racing. You realize that calm is not empty. It is full. Full of control. Full of dignity. Full of quiet strength. You began to see the difference between confidence and peace. Confidence wants to be seen. Peace does not care. Peace only wants to remain. You remembered how often you tried to look confident and how rarely you felt peaceful. You started wanting peace more than proof. You started wanting stability more than excitement. You started wanting clarity more than speed. You started wanting respect more than approval. You noticed that when you are calm, you think better. When you are calm, you see better. When you are calm, you choose better. And when you are rushed, you forget who you are. You realize that awareness is not about changing everything. It is about noticing everything. Noticing your tone. Noticing your breathing. Noticing your impatience. Noticing your hope. Noticing your fear. Noticing your patterns. Noticing your self-talk. You realize that every time you notice, you create space. And in space, you gain choice. You remembered moments when you reacted, and moments when you paused, and you felt the difference clearly now. Reaction felt loud. Pause felt powerful. Reaction felt emotional. Pause felt respectful. Reaction felt desperate. Pause felt dignified. You realized you wanted to live in the pause, not forever. But more often, you realized that clarity does not arrive with force. It arrives with acceptance. Acceptance of who you are today. Acceptance of what you feel today. Acceptance of where you are today. Without shame, without drama, without excuses. Just truth. You felt lighter, not because things were solved, but because you were no longer fighting yourself. You were finally listening. You were finally allowing yourself to be human, to be learning, to be growing, to be imperfect. You felt your heart slow, your mind soften, your body relax. You felt present, not in a perfect way, in a real way. You knew you were still on the journey. You knew you still had work to do. But now you were walking it with your eyes open, not running, not hiding, not chasing, just walking. And that felt new. You took a quiet breath, and you let this understanding settle inside you. Not as a rule, not as a promise, but as a gentle truth. You do not need to become someone else. You only need to become aware of who you are, and allow that version to grow. You stayed there. In that calm awareness, not rushing the next thought, not forcing the next answer, just resting in this small clarity, letting it hold you, letting it teach you, letting it prepare you for a deeper kind of strength, the kind that does not shout, the kind that does not beg, the kind that simply remains. You breathe again, and you stay, quiet, steady, aware, and you let this moment end softly, like a peaceful pause in a long journey.